Data East released BurgerTime in 1982. They unveiled this arcade to North American arcades, besides popular games that were out like Pac-Man and Donkey Kong. Data East's Deco cassette system was used to run this game. This game machine used cassette audio tapes to load the games. This allowed operators to switch out the games without having to get a whole new cabinet. Unfortunately, just like audio tapes, operators found out that these tapes wore out quickly. BurgerTime was originally one of these Deco cassette tapes called Hamburger. When it came to America, it got renamed BurgerTime. Data East abandoned the Deco cassette system shortly after its release, and by 1985, it was no longer being put out. They licensed the title BurgerTime to Midway Bally. The game casts you as Peter Pepper, a hero who must construct gigantic burgers at the same time while avoiding the terrible villains, Mr. Hot Dog, Mr. Egg, and of course, Mr. Pickle. Enter the iiRcade with their version of BurgerTime, which is the actual Deco cassette version of the arcade game. When it loads up, you even see the load up that you would get if you were actually using the real arcade cassette. Let's check out some iiRcade gameplay of the game BurgerTime in action. One of the great things about the iiRcade is it does save all your high scores on the machine. And we are off. Okay, Peter Pepper, you're going to go up and down the ladders. You're trying to trick the food items to follow you onto the buns. When you walk over a bun, when you walk over completely, you'll see it falls, and you're trying to stack up hamburgers down at the bottom of the screen. I think it's kind of fun to try to get more than one item on the bun when you do it. You notice that the buns fall further when you do that. I also used a pepper. The pepper freezes the enemies, and you can walk through them when they're frozen with pepper. When you get food items that appear in the middle of the screen, it gives you one pepper for each food item you get. So you saw I got the ice cream cone, I got a pepper back. It's also a great greed element. All great 80s arcade games have greed elements in them, which help you make choices which put you in more danger. Ooh, that would have been a good one. But I didn't move fast enough. Mr. Hot Dog got me. I was being greedy trying to get all the enemies onto one hamburger bun. We're going to skip around a bit, so it's a little more exciting. Here I am, I'm about to finish up the level. I love the way he does this little dance. How cool is that? This game is one of my all-time favorite classic arcades, and it just never gets old. And this alone is the kind of game that is worth having an iiRcade to play. Not only are you playing an awesome version of it, but I mean, everything just works perfect when you play this game on iiRcade. This is definitely a classic arcade mainstay. Never trust anyone that doesn't like BurgerTime. I mean, this is just a fantastic game. I've never met anyone that doesn't like this game. And yes, it does have ladders, just like a lot of other great games. Each level in the game is more difficult, with the layout of the later levels making it easier for Peter Pepper to be cornered and harder for him to reach ingredients. So as you play the game, it gets easier to get trapped and caught by the food items. The game also throws more enemies at your way. Easy to learn, difficult to master. The mantra of any great 80s arcade game. Several sequels to this game were made, including Peter Pepper's Ice Cream Factory, an arcade sequel to BurgerTime, also called Super BurgerTime, is also on the iiRcade. The entire BurgerTime series is on the iiRcade, as a matter of fact. Super BurgerTime is cool in that it allows two players to play cooperatively at once, and Peter Pepper's Ice Cream Factory will have its own video in the future. There are 6 boards of increasing difficulty in BurgerTime, with more burgers and ingredients, more enemies, and/or more layouts to make it easier for Peter to become cornered by the enemies. After the player completes the 6th board, the cycle repeats. The game is over when Peter Pepper touches a non-stunned enemy, and the game ends when all your lives are lost. The game BurgerTime is not surprisingly the 4th most popular game in the iiRcade store. The game sells for $7.99, and if you're missing out on BurgerTime, you're missing one of the all-time great 80s classic arcade games that is emulated perfectly on the iiRcade. Be sure to check it out. If you like this video, press that thumbs up button. If you'd like to receive more content like this, consider subscribing to Papa Brad's Gaming. This has been Papa Brad reminding you to stay legit.